Hi guys, welcome. In this video we're going to be talking about Hyrox Fomo. This stands for the fear of missing out, and it's uniquely affecting Hyrox and those wanting to take part at the moment. This is part of a series of new videos where I touch on subjects that are peripheral to Hyrox. Sometimes it can be a bit controversial, a bit contentious. Sometimes it's just a great way of relating to the content that we're talking about. So today's topic is FOMO, and this probably affects more people than you think. I believe that this is a combination of factors all happening at once, something of a perfect storm, if you will. On this side, we've got Hyrox, and they've always put out lots of high quality media through their social media platforms, straight into people's phones, into people's brains. It's slow motion footage shot at acute angles of people hugging and smiling and achieving great things. It's very alluring. People are going to want to do it. Combine that with the fact that the event itself, the exercises, the whole Hyrox experience is very accessible. Anybody can take part. And finally, it's the tickets. There aren't enough for everybody. In fact, the people that don't get to go greatly outnumber the people that do. And those that don't get to go have little choice but to endure the constant barrage of media that is pumped into their social media feed during the event and after. This creates a perfect FOMO experience for a lot of people. So let's talk a little bit about FOMO itself, the fear of missing out. The definition of this is the anxiety, angst feeling when someone gets to do something fun and enjoyable that you cannot do. This is particularly prevalent to Hyrox because the decision to go to Hyrox has been taken out of a lot of people's hands. Some people get to go because they've bought tickets and they've been awarded tickets for one reason or another through the ballot previously, and more recently the queuing mechanism debacle. But a lot of people miss out. A lot of people can't go. And this is the first layer of FOMO, right? They know they're not going. The second layer is as the event itself approaches and there is hype building up to that competition, those guys can see all of those adverts. They can see all of the shiny, glossy videos that Hyrox are putting out of Hyrox setting up the arenas and showing off all of the judges and wall balls of smiling and having a good time. And then later comes all of the athletes' short videos and long form videos that bombard their social media. All this is doing is adding fuel to the FOMO fire. It just keeps adding and adding and adding. The knock-on effect is those people are even more motivated than ever to try and get tickets to the next one. And this happens over and over and over again with each successive release. So why is the fear of missing out affecting Hyrox so much? Well, this is a few different reasons, but I think the main one stems from the event simplicity. It's accessibility. The event itself, when you actually get there, is 8 exercises, very common gym exercises. They don't require any skill. You don't need to learn anything. That means it's accessible to the great wider world of the fitness community, right? Lots of people that are just into fitness, that go to the gym, that train, would be attracted to come and do an event like this. And they can't then take part. This starts to that generation of that, why can't I do it? Why can these other people do it, but I can't? This starts that process. Similarly, you have athletes that have gone and done it before. They've enjoyed the experience. It's a bit addictive in this respect. It's all about chasing time. So in order to do that, you would have to go at least once and then come back and beat that time. Thing is, it doesn't end there. Knowing this, I've done lots of events. You want to keep coming back to try to beat that time. This is an addictive thing. So we've got this massive cohort of people trying to have their first go, while simultaneously you've got this massive amount of people wanting to come back. Again, it comes back down to that supply and demand issue and creating that haves and have-nots. So other reasons why people might feel like they're missing out. Now, it's hard not to see it when you're there, but there are cameras absolutely everywhere at a Hyrox event. Now, I walk around these events with a little GoPro myself, but nowadays I'm seeing people with a 3-person camera team filming one person, just a general dude, not even like a celebrity or anything, just following them around, and they're everywhere. There's little teams of people focusing on one, and it's become a business all by itself. Now, lots of these people generate income from their social media accounts. It's their job almost. That's how they pay the bills. So the glossier and sexier they can make their content for their channels, the better. That creates more money for them. And these events provide that opportunity for content creation. It's the same for me and this YouTube channel. I like to go to events. I create 2 videos every time I go. One, my walk the floor videos, and 2, almost my vlog, my race day video. Other people are there to create lots of content, like hours and hours of video, and it's divided between all of their various social media channels. Like I say, it's a job to them. They are there to pay the bills, and anything they can film is essentially stuff they can use to promote themselves, to promote their channel, or to promote their brand. So that's why a lot of people are doing that. That's why you see all of these crews, that's why you see these cameras. It's basically them going to work. Now, if they can't get to these events, if they can't get tickets for them, then they are seeing that as a missed opportunity to create that content, to create money essentially. So this is another factor. It's a very modern one, but it's definitely prevalent at Hyrox today. So this fear of missing out doesn't just affect people at the event level on race day. It can affect people at the local level at gyms just as bad and ahead of time. Ever since Hyrox has been a thing, they've been selling affiliations to gyms up and down the country that number in the thousands by now, and the members at those gyms number in the tens of thousands. These gyms are enabled to put on Hyrox specific training, which in turn will bring members into their own gyms. This creates a bit of a tribe of people that train regularly in anticipation for the next Hyrox that goes on sale. So one of the perks that these gyms get, what they are sold, early access codes, 48 hours ahead of everybody else. It sounds like everybody is guaranteed a ticket, doesn't it? But no. There are tens of thousands of people after a very finite amount of tickets, and it's capped. So some of those people in those gyms will get tickets. Others will not. Now imagine you sign up to a gym specifically to train for Hyrox with people that are also training for Hyrox to go to an event. Now, some of those people get tickets and you don't. Imagine how that will feel at a very personable level, that some people get to go and others do not. One of the more harsher examples of fear of missing out is the people that require quite a lot of training to prepare themselves for a Hyrox event. It's not uncommon for people that are unfit to need longer to prepare for a Hyrox event than people that are more fit. But this sometimes can mean training quite a lot ahead of time with a goal. Your goal is a Hyrox event. So imagine you go to a gym, an affiliated gym, you get a coach, you sort your diet out, you have blocks of training, you do every single thing right. But after a year's worth of training, you can't then go to an event. And what makes it worse is that all you can do is sit back and watch other people have fun. It feels really brutal that you can subscribe to the Hyrox hybrid fitness lifestyle. You can go to all the effort of training and preparation only to not go to the event at all. It has you questioning whether or not it's worth trading for the event if you don't know if you've got a ticket or not. Do the tickets need to go on sale earlier? I don't know. I don't know if there's an answer to that particular question, because I bet there's lots of people out there that have subscribed to a lot of training only to find they couldn't get to the event. And I think that's probably one of the more brutal examples that I've got. And the last contributing factor is you and me. The individual involved is important to this equation. Now, some people take it or leave it. Some people can go to one Hyrox and never go to another. Some people can miss events and not really care. You would be at the bottom end of the spectrum. If you are quite obsessive, if you are addictive, if you've got one of those types of personalities where you go all in on everything, then you'll be at this end of the spectrum. Now, every single person is on here somewhere. And I guess I'm about here, right? I'm about here. And that brings me on to my own story about FOMO that has affected me very, very recently. So a bit of a backstory. When I started doing Hyrox events in January of 22, I think this guy here, I didn't need to worry about buying tickets. In fact, the next couple of years, tickets were readily available. The events themselves weren't busy as they are today. They were great. As we fast forward through the years, tickets became harder and harder to get until the queuing mechanism appeared one day as the tickets were selling out super quick. Now, on this day, I missed out because I got reset in the ticket queue, got put to the back, and I didn't get a ticket that day. Now, this is my first touch on the fear of missing out. Having done lots of events up until that point, in fact, I was doing every event in the calendar, the UK calendar at that point, to suddenly then be told that you might not get to go to an event, and your local event at that's where my FOMO story starts. I was able to get tickets for that, and I was able to go. And I was able to get to the next few. Despite not getting tickets in the ballots, I was able to get tickets second hand and second chance tickets. I was okay. I wasn't feeling the FOMO because I was going to the events. Now, when they announced Manchester 24-25, they announced it as 2 dates. I entered the ballot, didn't get in at the ballot. I later got a second-hand chance ticket for the November event, but not the January event, the more desirable one. So as this event approached, I put my feelers out to see if there were any tickets for sale. No, none. As the event got closer, I thought maybe someone's partner will drop out. Someone's partner always drops out. They always need a stand-in. Thought that could be me. None. This event was probably the most popular event I'd ever encountered. And as the actual day before came, I packed my go bag, my Hyrox bag, my Built for Athletes backpack. I put all my clothes in there, all my nutrition, everything, got it all ready. I charged all of my cameras. I was going to take everything. I didn't have a race ticket. I didn't have a spectator ticket. I threw it all in the car. The next morning, the family and we drove up to Newark and we did their park run. The entire time I'm running around that park run, I'm thinking, has anyone sent me a message? Am I going to Hyrox after this? No. No one sent me a message. So I got in the car after that park run and I had to have a bit of a word with myself. I was considering driving 2.5 hours from Newark to Manchester without a ticket and without a spectator ticket. Now, even if I went, the best case scenario is I make a little bit of passive content for my YouTube channel. The worst case is I could drive all the way there, spend all that money on fuel, spend all that time in the car and not even get into the arena. So I started to think, right, get a grip, Martin, just go home and spend the day with the kids. And that's what I did. I drove home from Newark to Leicester and I spent the day with the kids and I don't regret that at all. Of course, I was bombarded all day long and for the next week by people that went and competed and had a great time at Manchester. It's a hard pill to swallow, but retrospectively, I have no regrets. If I'd have driven up there and spent all that money on fuel, time away from the family, over 5 hours in the car, I would have been an idiot. I'm very glad I came to my senses when I did. Sometimes there can be positive outcomes to FOMO, to the fear of missing out. I have a great example of this. Last year when I thought that I wasn't going to Hyrox Birmingham, when the queuing mechanism screwed me out of that ticket, I genuinely thought I wasn't going. My initial reaction was, well, stuff you, Hyrox, I'm going to go do other stuff. So I booked a spread of other events. I went to a Deadly Dozen, I went to a Deca, and I went to a Nuclear Fit. I very much enjoyed these competitions, and I had that epiphany that it's not the end of the world should I not get to go to a Hyrox. I now make a point of making sure that my diary on the wall is completely filled up with hybrid fitness events so that in the event that I don't actually get into a Hyrox, that I've still got plenty of hybrid fitness sports that I can go and do. Right guys, that's the end of this video. Thanks very much for watching this far. If you've got any stories or analogies, anything that FOMO has made you do, drop them down in the comments below. I will enjoy reading them. Before you head out, please give the channel a subscribe. There's a little button here. It helps me out no end. I shall see some of you at a Hyrox event and the rest of you I will see in my next video soon. All right, Mart out.